I know, I do. It's true. Okay. Okay, this is our 30-degree angle because it's across from the shortest side. This is your hypotenuse. It's across from 90. This is your shortest side, so it's across from the smallest angle, which is 30. Okay, well, that leaves this angle to be 60 degrees. Okay, in this case of the special right triangles, it's always easiest to find the shortest side. We're going to call this side S. What's that stand for? Small. Short, small, whatever you want to call it. This stands for S, or short. Okay, this is our short side. Why? Because it's across from the smallest angle. Once you know the short side, you can find everything else. Well, what's your hypotenuse when you have the short side? Your hypotenuse is just 2 times your short. So if our short was 4, then our hypotenuse is 2 times 4, which is? Yep. Okay, now, since this is our short and this is our hypotenuse, we're going to call this our leg. So we have short, leg, hypotenuse. So our leg, just because we need to call it something because they're different, right? They're not the same anymore, they're different. So we're going to call this our leg. So if we want to find our leg, we take our short and we multiply it by the square root of 3. The same way you multiply square root of 2. Same way. Okay? Alright, so let's go to our notes.
But how do you get the short?
Well, we're going to get there. Okay, case 1. Case 1 is the best case ever. Best case. Why? Because we're given short. We're given S. All we have to do is find the other two sides. How do I know that I'm given S? Well, because it's across from 30. It's across from 30, so that's your short. Okay, so now let's find our other two sides. No, I want the radical. Okay, so using this, I have our short. How do I find the hypotenuse? 2 times short, which is 2 times 21. Which variable, x or y, is our hypotenuse? Because it's across from the 90 degree. So x is equal to 2 times 21, which is going to be 42. Yep. So you found x. This is your hypotenuse because it's across from the 90 degree angle. So now, y is your leg. This is your leg. This is your hypotenuse. How do we find our leg? By multiplying short by the square root of 3. So all we do is we take 21 and we put it in front of the square root of 3. Nope, leave it just like that. Remember, we can't multiply 21 and 3. We can't multiply those two because one has a house and one doesn't. It stays just like that. That's your answer.
Does it always stay like that?
It always stays like that if one's a number and one's a square root. Remember, we only multiply them if there's 2 square roots or 2 numbers. Okay? This takes practice, guys. It's okay. It takes practice. But that's it. So, let's try number 2, and then I want you to try number 3. What are we given? We're given the short. So this is our short. X is your hypotenuse. So to find x, we just do short times 2, which would be 7 times 2, which is, yep. And then to find your leg, which is the other side, you take your y. Now don't go back to 14, go back to your short. So what would leg be?
7 squared. What number is 14?
7 square root of 3.
Okay.
This is kind of hard to grasp, and it's going to take time, and it's okay. But what helps us is practicing, right? Yes, Armando.
I feel like this is easier than the
Okay,
it's not.
that's okay.
Where'd you get the degree from? Or is it always?
Remember, it's always 3. It's always 3. Okay. Okay, will you try number 3 for me? Well, but look, Miss Jenkins, there's not a 30 degrees, but there's a 90 and there's a 60. So the other one has to be right. Try 3.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to label it. I'm just doing it to help you. You try number 3. Good job. Y'all done already?
We're probably. I didn't want to roll.
Should I get this?
Yeah. Wait. Whoa.
16 for y. Now make sure that the y is 16 and not x. Y is 16 and x is 8 square root of 3.
Oh, because they switched to X.
Right.
X is
I messed up on
related.
Because your y is your hypotenuse. So you can't just be like, oh, well, one is one and one's the other. There's certain restrictions. So your y had to be 16 and your x had to be 8 square root of 3.
You better use any letter there, right? I mean, it could be A, B, or
Yeah. But when I'm looking for your answer, it has to be certain.
the right way.
Okay, that was case number 1. Case number 2, what are we given now? The hypotenuse. And what did I say is always easiest to go find first? The short. Well, if we have the short, what do we do to get the hypotenuse?
Same. It's just a square root of 3.
No, you're not listening to my question. If we have the short, what do we do to get the hypotenuse? Multiply by 2. Multiply by 2, right? So if I'm given the hypotenuse, how do I backtrack to get to the short? Yeah. Are y'all following me? So I'm given the hypotenuse, which is 10. Which one is your short, x or y? Yep, because here's your 30. So if your hypotenuse is 10, and I want to get your short, I just divide this by 2. So your x would be 5. Well, then if I have my short, I can find our leg by just multiplying the short by the square root of 3. So y is equal to, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go back. We were given the hypotenuse. So to get your short, you just divide it by 2. Whoops. Well, once you have your short, you can find your leg across from 60 by just multiplying your short by the square root of 3, because our cheat sheet says that's what we do. So you just do 5 times the square root of 3, and that's why. Good job, guys. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, what are you given on 5? You're given the hypotenuse. So what's always easiest to find? Which is what? Which is y. So I want to find y first. Well, I need to divide this by 2. And if I divide 16 by 2, remember, don't include the square root of 3, because that's like a variable. You can't do 16x divided by 2. Leave it out. So 16 divided by 2 is 8 square root of 3. That's y. That's your short. That's your short. Now, that's our short. How do we get our leg? Multiply it by the square root of 3. It already has one, though. So just do it again. So just do it again. So to find your x, you would do 8 square root of 3 times square root of 3. Now I can multiply these two, right? Because they're the same. Well, the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 9. And the square root of 9 is, and 8 times 3 is, so x is equal to, it got a little crazy.
Got crazy. You know math is.
Well, the square root of 9 is 3, right? So 8 times 3 is 24.
And if you could simplify, you always simplify. You're right.
Okay. This one, now we have case 3. What are we given? We're given the leg with a square root of 3. So to find the short, we just take the number in front of it. So we're finding all the missing pieces. So short, which is this side, is going to be 4. You just take the number in front of it. And then your hypotenuse is 4 times 2, which is? Yep. Well, over here, 8 square root of 3. That's your leg. Your leg. Well, it has the square root of 3. And your short is this one right here. So to get to your short, you just take the number in front of your square root of 3. So x is. And to find your hypotenuse, you multiply it by. So y is. By 2. 8 times 2 gives you 16. Okay, all right, there's one more case. Remember yesterday how we had one formula for one case? We have one formula for one case, and this is it. It's the case when you're given the leg without the square root of 3. So let's go over to our cheat sheet that we are allowed to use on our test, right? We are allowed to use this on our test, so we need to know how to use it. And let's write over here. Here's our formula. When we want to find short, so this is for case number what? When you want to find your short and you're given a leg, you plug it in here and it'll give you your short. So when do we use it? When we're given the leg and we want to find short and the leg does not have a square root of 3. No square root of 3. That's the difference. This one right here has a square root of 3. This one right here does not. So there's no number just to take the number in front of the radical, right? Yes, Armando? X is 4 square root of 3.
Yeah.
Right? And then okay, hold on guys, y'all are, I'm glad you're getting there, but hold on. So this is your leg, right? Because it's across from 60. And then this would be 30. So this is your short. So let's find our short. Well, short is equal to 12 square root of 3 divided by 3. Well, 12 divided by 3 is? So your short, aka x, is 4 square root of 3. So now we have our short. How do I get to the hypotenuse? Double it. Don't double the radical, just double the number out front. So to get your y, you do 4 times 2 square root of 3. So y is equal to? Yep. Yep. Will you try number 9? If it gives you a really bad decimal, just leave it like this. Okay, will you try number 9 for me? Same case. Leave it like this. 12 square root of 3 divided by 3. If it gives you a bad decimal, just leave it like it is. That's what I got. Okay. 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 So you got this one, right? You got that? You got the short side? Because we took 14 and we plugged it into our formula? Well, if you know you're short, then to get your hypotenuse, you just multiply it by 2. So that's just like saying 14 square root of 3 divided by 3 times 2 divided by 1. So 2 times 14 is 28. Okay, flip to the 6 on the back. The 6 practice problems on the back. Try to figure out what case numbers go with those 6. Try to figure out what case numbers go with which. So write case 1, 2, the last 6, because we did the first 6 yesterday. Oh, is it 7 through 12? Yeah. Tell me what case numbers they are. There's 4 cases this time. Alright guys, so I want you to try these 6. And then once you're done, I want you to finish your project and turn it in. Okay? So these 6, project, turn it in. If you want to do this backwards, and if you have a lot of work to do on your project, then you can do project, then this. But regardless, these 6 need to be done before you come back Monday. Okay?
I turn in a project Monday, right?
No, your project is due today.
Well, I just got the thing yesterday.
Or grades are due.